Hi, my name's Issa. I am part of the team that is working on Tenderfoot Tactics. If you didn't know, Tenderfoot Tactics is a turn-based tactics game where you control a party of goblins and their elemental abilities, leading to cascading repercussions. I just wanted to take a look at the trinket system in Tenderfoot Tactics today, and we can take a look at some of the more interesting trinkets on offer, these gems. And if you look, these gems, in addition to granting both power and health, they also grant effects that apply across all of the unit's abilities. So, in this case, this +5 fire will apply to every ability that Winfrey has. And so, I'm going to put together some of my more interesting combinations that I've found. And hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate some of the interesting things you can get up to when you sort of mix and match these more interesting trinkets. So let's get ourselves a fight. So if you look here, Powell has the +1 ground height trinket and the plus knockback trinket. So now things like Insult increase the height of the terrain and knock back a unit. Same with Flex and Sweeping Blow and all abilities. So I particularly enjoy using the combination of Knockback, which stacks on Shield Bash because Shield Bash already has Knockback 1, and raising the terrain. So I push units back and raise the terrain where they were, pushing units away and creating a barrier. And then Winfrey, unfortunately because it's raining right now, fires quite complicated to produce, but Winfrey has plus fire to all of their abilities. So that's a little trickier to capitalize when it's raining, but you can imagine the kind of interactions you can get. Here, I added plus pull and plus vegetation, so all of these abilities will both pull and create vegetation. Which I find particularly valuable when applied to AoE spells. So Fire Arrow is focused, but if I use my Great Salvo, I can pull all these units. Unfortunately, there was too much groundwater to be able to produce any vegetation, but the pull all by itself. And then my other archer, Poe, has reduce the ground level and add water, which again, when focused, is not quite as impactful, but using it with this salvo ability makes this pit even deeper and adds water. And you can see now that all of these units in this pit of water are swimming, meaning that they can't take their actions until they get some elevation. Which now that my knight with the 2 gems that increase knockback and raise the ground, I can deny that kind of elevation. You can see these units are very powerful. 200 health. But because I've stacked these gems, I can really do some interesting and complicated changes to all my abilities. And you see there was some unintended consequences. That archer has plus pull on their ability, so I pulled this troll into my knight, not realizing that there would be collateral damage. And you can see here also, with Poe, they have the lower terrain and increased water trinkets equipped, which means that something like the fire arrow will both produce fire and produce water, which cancel each other out, basically making this not a fire arrow anymore. But something like the ice arrow, which already produces some water, will produce even more now. And so you can see there are some interesting combinations you can achieve when you combine trinkets, but also there's interesting effects when you apply trinkets to specific abilities. In particular, AoE abilities are great to really explore the limits of the trinket, and also abilities that you cast on yourself. So in this instance, Flex will create knockback and raise the terrain in addition to its other effects. So you can see the knight had knockback cast on them in addition to raising the terrain where they were. So these are just some of the complex and interesting effects you can get. Again, this is a very early game composition of units, so there's even more to explore once you start to get a hold of the higher tier classes. I hope you enjoyed all that I had to show you, and if you did, you can find us on Twitter at Tenderfoot_tact, TACT, and from there you can get a link to our Discord. I hope you had a good time. Thank you very much for watching.